What if I told you that the closest humans to a certain point on Earth aren't people on a boat or even on land? They're astronauts orbiting 400 kilometers above us. I'm talking about Point Nemo, the most remote spot in any ocean on the planet. So far from land that the nearest humans are literally in space. But that's just the warm-up. Did you know there's a country that's completely surrounded by another country, trapped like an island in the middle of solid land? I'm about to hit you with 50 geography facts so strange, so unbelievable, that you'll start questioning the map you grew up with. Some of these are so obscure that even geography teachers don't know them. If you're ready to have your mind rewired, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell, because what's coming next will leave you speechless. Let's get into it. Fact 1. The loneliest point on Earth. Point Nemo sits in the South Pacific over 2,600 kilometers from the nearest land in any direction. It's so isolated that the closest humans are often astronauts aboard the International Space Station, orbiting far above. Because of this isolation, space agencies use the area as a graveyard for retired satellites and spacecraft. Fact 2. The country trapped inside a country. Lesotho is completely surrounded by South Africa, making it one of only 3 nations on Earth fully enclosed by a single other country. Its entire economy and infrastructure depend heavily on its neighbor, yet it remains a fiercely independent kingdom, high in the mountains. Fact 3. The waterfall no one can see. Between Greenland and Iceland lies the Denmark Strait Cataract, an underwater waterfall over 3,500 meters tall, far taller than Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall above water. Cold, dense water plunges into the depths, invisible to anyone standing on the surface. Fact 4. The desert that never sees rain. Parts of Chile's Atacama Desert have gone over 500 years without a single drop of recorded rainfall, making it drier than most deserts on Mars. Yet strange microbial life somehow survives in this seemingly impossible environment. Fact 5. The lake buried under ice. Lake Vostok lies nearly 4 kilometers beneath the Antarctic ice sheet, sealed off from the outside world for possibly millions of years. Scientists believe it may host microorganisms unlike anything found anywhere else on the planet. Fact 6. The state that's also the westernmost and easternmost. Alaska holds a bizarre geographic trophy. Because its Aleutian Islands cross the 181st meridian, Alaska is technically the northernmost, westernmost, and easternmost state in the United States all at once. Fact 7. The country buying its own land. Singapore has expanded its territory by over 20% since independence, entirely through land reclamation, importing massive quantities of sand from neighboring countries just to physically grow larger. Fact 8. The town that isn't allowed to die. In Longyearbyen, Norway, deep in the Arctic, it's effectively illegal to die. The permafrost prevents bodies from decomposing, so terminally ill residents are flown elsewhere to pass away. Fact 9. The Valley of No Return. Ethiopia's Danakil Depression is one of the hottest, most hostile places on Earth, with acid pools, sulfur springs, and temperatures regularly exceeding 118 degrees Fahrenheit. NASA has used it to test equipment for missions to Mars. Fact 10. The island frozen in time. Socotra, off the coast of Yemen, has been isolated for over 6 million years, giving rise to plants found nowhere else on Earth, including trees that look like they belong on an alien planet.
Fact 11. The fire that never went out. Beneath Centralia, Pennsylvania, a coal seam has been burning continuously since 1962. The town above was slowly abandoned as toxic gases and sinkholes made it unlivable. leaving a ghost town over a literal underground inferno. Fact 12. The river that never reaches the sea. The Colorado River, once emptied powerfully into the Gulf of California, today, due to heavy water use, it often dries up completely before ever reaching the ocean. Fact 13. The house split between two countries. In the town of Barle, the border between Belgium and Netherlands is so tangled that some houses have their front door in one country and their kitchen in another, forcing residents to follow two different sets of laws under one roof. Fact 14. The country moving toward Asia. Australia drifts nearly 7 centimeters northward every year due to tectonic movement, so much that scientists have had to officially update the continent's GPS coordinates to keep maps accurate. Fact 15. The shrinking giant. Lake Chad has lost roughly 90% of its surface area since the 1960s, threatening the water supply of over 30 million people who depend on it across 4 different countries. Fact 16. The crust thinner than you think. If Earth were shrunk down to the size of an apple, its entire crust, mountains and ocean trenches included, would be thinner than the apple's skin. Fact 17. The nation that shouldn't exist on a map. Kazakhstan is the largest landlocked country on Earth, so massive it could swallow entire European nations. Yet, it has no direct access to any ocean. Fact 18. The rift that's building an ocean. East Africa is slowly splitting apart along the Great Rift Valley. In several million years, geologists predict a new ocean will form, eventually separating the continent into 2. Fact 19. The shortest flight in the world. In Scotland, a scheduled flight between the islands of Westray and Papa Westray covers just 2.7 kilometers and can take under 2 minutes, sometimes shorter than the safety briefing. Fact 20. The mammoth's last stand. Wrangel Island off the coast of Russia was home to the very last population of woolly mammoths on Earth. They survived there until just 4,000 years ago, around the time the pyramids were already standing.
Fact 21. The town reachable only through another country. Point Roberts, Washington, sits on a small peninsula cut off from the rest of the United States. To drive there from anywhere else in the US, you have to pass through Canada first. Fact 22. The border drawn with a ruler. Much of the boundary between Egypt and Libya and several other African borders were drawn as straight lines by European powers with no regard for rivers, mountains, or the people living there, creating conflicts that persist today. Fact 23. The place with no owner. Bir Tawil, a stretch of desert between Egypt and Sudan, is claimed by neither country, making it one of the only pieces of land on Earth that truly belongs to no nation. Fact 24. The mountain older than the dinosaurs' ancestors. Table Mountain in South Africa is estimated to be around 260 million years old, older than the Himalayas, the Rockies, and even the first dinosaurs to walk the Earth. Fact 25. The island 1,700 kilometers from anything. Bouvet Island, a Norwegian territory, is considered the most remote island on the planet, uninhabited and covered almost entirely in glacier, with the nearest land nearly 1,700 kilometers away. Fact 26. The temperature swing that defies logic. The Russian town of Verkhoyansk has recorded both minus 90 degrees Fahrenheit in winter and over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in summer, giving it the widest temperature range of any inhabited place on Earth. Fact 27. The country older than most empires. San Marino, founded in the year 301, is considered the oldest surviving sovereign state in the world, having outlasted the Roman Empire the Ottoman Empire, and countless kingdoms since. Fact 28. The desert sand that crosses oceans. Dust from the Sahara Desert regularly travels across the entire Atlantic Ocean, occasionally turning skies orange as far away as Florida and the Caribbean. Fact 29. The country doubly landlocked. Uzbekistan is one of only 2 countries in the world that are landlocked by other landlocked countries, meaning you'd have to cross at least 2 borders in any direction just to reach open ocean. Fact 30. The rainforest with no bridges. Despite stretching over 6,400 kilometers, the Amazon River has no bridges crossing it along its entire length, mainly because the population along most of its course is too sparse to justify one. Fact 31. The nation Brazil almost entirely surrounds. Brazil shares a border with every country in South America except 2, Chile and Ecuador, making it one of the most geographically connected nations on the continent. Fact 32. The Pacific we barely know, despite covering nearly a third of Earth's surface. More than 80% of the Pacific Ocean remains unmapped and unexplored in any real detail. Fact 33. The lake that turns pink. Senegal's Lake Retba turns a vivid pink color due to algae that thrives in its extremely salty water, especially during the dry season, making it look like something out of another world. Fact 34. The island nation banning sunscreen. Palau became one of the first countries to ban reef-toxic sunscreens entirely, protecting its coral reefs from chemicals that scientists linked to widespread bleaching. Fact 35. The blood-red glacier water. In Antarctica, Blood Falls releases a shocking crimson liquid from beneath Taylor Glacier, colored by iron-rich water that's been trapped and oxygen-starved for millions of years. Fact 36. The country that isn't landlocked, technically. Monaco, the second smallest country on Earth, has more coastline relative to its size than almost any other nation, despite fitting entirely within a few square kilometers. Fact 37. The megacity, bigger than a country. Tokyo's greater metropolitan area holds more people than the entire population of Canada, all packed into a single urban region. Fact 38. The mountain range still growing. The Himalayas continue rising by a few millimeters every year as the Indian tectonic plate keeps pushing relentlessly into Asia, a collision that's been ongoing for 50 million years. Fact 39. The country split by a wall of trees. The border between Norway and Sweden includes a cleared strip of forest, nearly 200 meters wide in places, stretching for hundreds of kilometers, visible even from satellite images. Fact 40. The island born from war. Turkmenistan's Darvaza gas crater has burned non-stop since 1971, when Soviet engineers accidentally ignited it, expecting the fire to burn out in days. It's still blazing, over 5 decades later. Fact 41. The most volcanic country per square kilometer. Iceland sits directly on top of the mid-Atlantic ridge, giving it more active volcanoes per square kilometer than almost anywhere else on the planet. Fact 42. The desert island growing coral instead of sand. The Maldives sits on ancient coral atolls barely rising above sea level, making it one of the most at-risk nations on Earth as ocean levels continue climbing. Fact 43. The strait that separates 2 continents by a few kilometers. The Bering Strait separates Russia and Alaska by just 82 kilometers, so narrow that on a clear winter day, you can sometimes see one continent from the other. Fact 44. The country with more sheep than people. New Zealand is home to roughly 5 sheep for every single person living there, a ratio that's actually dropped significantly over the past few decades. Fact 45. The cave large enough to have its own weather. Vietnam's Sun Dong cave is so massive it generates its own clouds and weather patterns inside and wasn't fully explored until 2009. Fact 46. The valley below sea level. California's Death Valley sits 86 meters below sea level, making it the lowest point in North America, while some of the tallest mountains in the contiguous US rise just a short distance away. Fact 47. The nation with no rivers at all. Saudi Arabia is one of the largest countries on Earth with no permanent rivers whatsoever, relying almost entirely on groundwater and desalination for fresh water. Fact 48. The town with only one legal resident business owner. In Monowai, Nebraska, a single woman is the town's only resident, serving simultaneously as mayor, librarian, and the owner of its only bar. Fact 49. The glowing shoreline. Certain beaches in the Maldives glow electric blue at night due to bioluminescent plankton, lighting up with every wave and footstep like a scene from science fiction. Fact 50. The line that splits time itself. The international date line runs through the Pacific in a zigzag pattern specifically designed to avoid splitting countries into two different calendar days, meaning some islands just a few kilometers apart can be a full day apart in time. There you have it. 50 geography facts that prove our planet is stranger and more surprising than anything you learned in school. From an underwater waterfall taller than any on land, to a country trapped entirely inside another one, Earth is still full of secrets most people never hear about. Which fact shocked you the most? Was it the burning fire pit that's been blazing for over 50 years, or the country that's slowly drifting toward Asia? Drop a comment and let me know. If this blew your mind, smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. We're just getting started uncovering the strangest corners of our planet.